So hi everybody, this is Richard Dunmall at the Festival of Media here in the lovely Montreux. I'm thrilled to be joined by our friend Lisa Donohue, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Starcom North America. Thanks for joining us. Welcome.
Absolutely, great to be here.
So I have a few questions for you.
Excellent.
My first question for you is, there's a lot of discussion about creativity at the conference. Where do you get your creative inspiration from?
Well, that's an excellent question. I try to get it from a couple of different places. First of all, I actually try to get it from very unexpected places. And a good example of that was a couple of years ago, we were at the Cannes Festival, strolling around. I was with Brian Turkelson, a good friend of mine, and a peer. And I turned around and he was gone. And I couldn't figure out where he was. And I took a few steps back and he had gone into a high-end home appliance store. So I followed him in and I could not for the life of me wonder why he was in here. But he said to me, you know, I'm just looking for different examples of design. And I thought that was very fascinating. And it really did remind me that you can look and we can look for inspiration in unexpected places. And I think that's a good thing for our industry. I think sometimes we look in too many expected places. Yep. And then the other thing that I like to try to do is remind myself to spend some time with the younger folks that are new in our industry and the new hires within the company. They often have such fabulous ideas and they're just looking for someone to breathe life into them and support them. So I like to spend a lot of time with them. And
what do you, when you're talking to those young, smart things, what do you learn most from them?
Young, smart things. Well, we like to call them people.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That's another way of describing them.
Well, what I like is that they don't tend to have a lot of the industry bias or the been there, done that. Yep. You know, they are much more open to possibility. They're idea breeders versus idea killers. Yep. Some of us that have been in the industry too long have gotten really good at being idea killers and explaining why things won't work versus seeing the possibility of what could work.
British people are idea killers as well, normally.
Absolutely. I think it's bred into you.
Yes, yeah. I think so.
As a nation,
yes,
it's amazing.
Indeed, yes, and we could talk about that for hours.
Yeah.
So my second question for you is, you're an extremely busy senior person in our industry.
Some days, yes.
Indeed, and there's lots of discussion this week about an always-on connected world that we operate in, lots of devices, etc. How do you strike that balance between work, life, and play?
That's probably the hardest question I would ever be asked. It's definitely a struggle and you have to make a commitment to do it. I think part of the first thing is that you do have to embrace technology for the good and the bad. You know, a lot of people blame technology for the lack of that, but the reality is that it does free us to be more mobile, which means we can do our work in mobile locations, which actually allows us to have some of that balance. I think the other times you just have to decide, I'm going to switch off, I'm going to put the BlackBerry down, I'm going to turn it off, and I'm just going to take some time for myself. And you really just have to force yourself to do it. And do you find that the lines between work and being on work and then off are more blurred than ever as a result of all of that? I do. I do think that they're blurred. There's no question. And when I think back to when we all started in this industry, it's definitely blurred versus then. Though I also remember back when your boss would call into the office being on the road and everyone would wait and huddle around that landline so you could be at the ready and you couldn't move, right, until they called in. Now you can actually move and maybe you can go to the Cubs game or the Red Sox game and you could take the call from there. So from that standpoint, it's not that bad. And is the Cubs or the Red Sox what you do in your downtime? Is that what you enjoy? It's definitely the Red Sox is what I do in my downtime. And I have loaded wonderful apps on my iPad that allow me to watch the Red Sox wherever I am in the world, which is a good thing. That is. And that's part of work-life balance. Indeed it is. So there you have it, folks. Lisa Donohue, an app-loaded, tablet-using Red Sox fan, here enjoying the Media Festival with us. So thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you. Thank you.